Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Walking This Ways Impact Was podcast, where our motto is impacting the culture, shaping the generation. I'm your host, Fermi Jackson Jr., alongside Anna C., Coach Shay, Kenny Primetime Williams. Tonight episode is talking about taking our health very serious when it comes to eating clean foods. I guess this evening is Angelina Dickerson. She's a licensed medical professional, behavior coach counselor in the city of Mobile, Alabama. She's going to help bring awareness to us, help when it comes to eating better, looking better, and feeling better. So I'm very excited as she's on a mission to bring awareness to our generation when it comes to clean foods, of course. So we thank her for taking time out of her busy schedule. I know she's busy, not I won't say busy, but productive in her mission, her assignment to bring awareness when it comes to our health. And we know it is the will of God for us to prosper in our health as well as our soul prosper. God wants us to be healthy, even though we got the spiritual side of things and all the other stuff, but He wants us to prosper in our health. And I'm glad that we have people like Angelina who is pushing that message to all of us. And it's up to us to take heed to it. Like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that horse drink. So at the end of the day, it's really up to you on how you want to take care of your life. Remember, it's a day that we're born, there's going to be a day that we die. And in between them two is a dash. So it's up to you what you do with that dash. And it's nobody else's fault but yours. So learn how to take responsibility, of course, for your own actions. And also, I want to encourage everybody, if you want to, look at get the chance, get this book, The Art of Living by Bob Proctor. We had one of his students, Connie, last Tuesday. She's a student of his. I'm reading the book now. This is an awesome book. If you're familiar with Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it really ties off into that. So really into the mental aspect, learning to live within, learn to become the person that we want to be, and don't be a slave to other people's opinion or worry about other people think about you. Become who you want to be destined who you know you want to be, and hey, live that prosperous, fulfilling life. Before we go off into the Q&A with our featured guest, we're going to kick it off with Kenny Primetime Williams with the updates with the sports world. Take it away, Kenny.
Yes, indeed. How everybody doing out there? I am so glad to be back here with you guys on this wonderful Tuesday evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now in the Prime Zone with your host, Kenny Primetime Williams. I want to give shouts out to everybody who's listening at the sound of my voice. I want to give shouts out to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the Mobile, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, everybody from Greenville to Memphis. Thank you for tuning in to the Prime Zone. We got just a little bit of news for you. We ain't gonna hold you too long, but I know you want to stay as long as you like. But prop your feet up, pop that top on that nice little drink and relax and listen to some good little messages from the sports world. We got championship talking about women and men. The NCAA women's girls basketball team, the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks are now the women's championship. They fought a great game. What a wonderful team they did. I actually been watching the games all weekend long and just been mind-blowing each time. Moving on to the men's championship was held on last night in New Orleans, Louisiana against the Kansas City Jayhawks and the North Carolina Tar Heels. And the Kansas City Jayhawks pulled away with a great game of victory. Final score 72-69. Men's NCAA championship for Kansas and South Carolina. They're two times. Everybody out there in the audience say two times. They both are two-time national champions. So congratulations to the Lady Gamecocks of South Carolina, and congratulations to the Kansas City Jayhawks of the men's basketball. Great season, great coaching. I want to give shouts out to North Carolina's head coach, Hubert Davis, his first year as a head coach, and led his team to a Final Four championship game. Lost by 3 points. Amazing resume, amazing story. Congratulations, and I look forward to big things from you guys on next year. We're going to move on to the NBA tonight. One important game for that's going to be displayed on tonight will be the Lakers playing the Phoenix Suns. Now, the reason why this game is a so important game is that if the Lakers lose tonight, which they have a 3.3% chance of winning, If they lose tonight, they are definitely out of playoff contention for the entire rest of the season. Um, if they win, who knows? They live to fight another day. But there is a catch to all that. The King, LeBron James, will not be playing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James suffered an ankle injury a couple of weeks back. He's missed 4 games already, and it was a game time decision. So tonight he has been ruled out against an important game for the Los Angeles Lakers. So all the heavyweight falls on Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, and Russell Westbrook. Speaking of Carmelo Anthony, he had the other night in LA, he received a humanitarian award from the legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it was an honor to have this award, and it was a great, great accomplishment. So I congratulate Carmelo Anthony on his accomplishments, and I'm wishing best luck to the Lakers on tonight. Now, I know y'all probably forgot about him, but Tiger Woods will be back on the golf course as of tomorrow. He will be playing in the Masters. It has been some talk all season long. You know, he's been out a couple of years due to a bad accident that nearly almost cost his life. But he is back on the grind. He will be competing for the Masters, and will be rooting for Mr. Tiger Woods. Good luck, my man. Bring it home like you always do. True GOAT. Now, we're going to go on to just a little football action. Teddy Bridgewater will be has now signed with the Miami Dolphins as a backup to Tua, former quarterback of the Alabama Crimson Tide. But has now been signed with the Miami Dolphins. There has been talks for the Dallas Cowboys that they'll be receiving safety from Kansas City. I don't know how to pronounce his name too much, but all I can say is he's from LSU. But we're going to wait to see how that deal falls through. A lot of movements been being made around the league every day. So we just look forward to seeing who ends up where, and if anybody's going to be on a new team, new face, new everything, new city, everything. But big ups to all the guys that's trying to sign with a team, and congratulations for all the ones that already have signed with a team. That's all I have for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you, I thank you for tuning in to Prime Zone, and you're always welcome. I love you. Everybody loves you. God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Take it away, Mr. Furman.
Hey, appreciate you, Ken, with this latest sports news and updates. As a Cowboys fan, I'm very excited about the upcoming season, but I'm not excited about the names that's out there. A lot of people, a lot of media people put out these big time names and stuff like that. Of course, you know how Jerry Jones them operate. They want to build to the draft. I guess it's cheaper. They want to build their own players. Kenny.
Yeah.
So I don't even really get it. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Bobby Wagner and all," but Jerry's not trying to get names like that. So I'm not.
I for one, I feel as if we've let a lot of good players go, and we've passed on a lot of players that were out there that we definitely we could have used offensive or defensively. But I'm anxious to see how the draft turns out. I hope Jerry is. I hope that I keep my hands crossed when it comes to Jerry Jones. So we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, most definitely. I know when the draft be coming, I know you'll give us some updates inside
Absolutely.
of the draft
Absolutely.
as well. And also, we know we got the entertainment news with Coach Shay. Coach Shay, what's going on with you? I know you got the latest trend that's going on. I know the latest thing been going by Will Smith, Chris Rock, Jada Pickett, all new
Yeah.
details coming out. Now, as a report came out that Will caught her with Mark Anthony and all
What?
kind of crazy stuff. So go ahead and check with
Oh
the
my.
news.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Furman, for introducing me. Yes, it's Coach Shay, you guys. I am here with your celebrity tea. So, as Furman was mentioning, I can definitely start there. We know that our fellow Oscar award winning Will Smith hasn't been fully punished as of just yet. Disciplinary action proceedings are still being determined for him. Everything will be determined by April the 18th. He said that he is accepting all responsibility and accountability, y'all. He said he's accepting any consequences for his actions. He describes his conduct as shocking, painful, and just totally unexcusable. So he's taking false for his actions. He resigned from the academy, because either way, he probably was gonna get expelled from the academy. So he went ahead and resigned before he was put out. Also in other news, after 13 years, after 13 years, Monique and Lee Daniels have settled their differences. After the, if you guys don't know, 13 years ago when Monique won her Oscar for Precious, um, her, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey, they got into this big feud. She said they was blackballing her out of Hollywood. She hadn't had any movies. Y'all remember when she tried to boycott Netflix? She tried to boycott Netflix because she said she was getting underpaid for her comedy. They tried to pay her $500,000 for her Netflix show. She didn't want to accept that. She said they was taking her down. But after all these years, they finally settled their differences, and Monique is looking to be replaced by Octavia Spencer in a new Demon House. So I look forward to seeing what Monique has been working on, and hopefully this is her induction back into the Hollywood world or back into the movie scene. So look forward to seeing her. And that is all I have today for your celebrity tea.
Appreciate you, Coach Shay, with the latest entertainment news and stuff. But you know, it's good that people are burying the hatchet. Learn how to let bygones be bygones. Learn how to forgive. And I was reading the book, in the Art of Living talks about that. Unforgiveness can destroy a lot of things. It can destroy our business. It can destroy our finance. It can destroy our health. It can destroy a lot of things. So I encourage somebody, if you had a falling out, no matter if it was a yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, bury the hatchet, let bygones be bygones, and let us bring peace and move forward. Because realize that unforgiveness does hinder us. The Bible says that our Heavenly Father won't forgive our trespasses. So if we don't forgive those trespasses against us, God won't forgive our trespasses. So let's be right when we do that. So learn how to forgive someone. Also, I'm very excited about tonight's guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself. She's a dear friend of mine back from Mobile, Alabama. She's an advocate for when it comes to our health, when it comes to our awareness. She's on a mission, she's on assignment, she's very consistent in what she does, nonstop. She always brings in great information for our community, and I'm very excited to have her on tonight's podcast as she brings some awareness, help us get some things that we been lacking, things that we probably have not been taking very serious. I know as us in our community, we eat the soul food, we eat all the fried chicken, the hog maw, the chillings, and all this stuff that our forefathers we eat, and then we carry on eating and stuff like that, and it messes up in the long run. So I want my guest to introduce herself, and I just want to say thank you for taking time to be a part of tonight's podcast. Of course, welcome to Walking This Way Impact Voice.
Okay, thank you so much, Furman, for having me. Can you hear me? I know you can hear me.
Yeah, we loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Angela Dickinson, and I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I just got back about 2 years ago. I work as a counselor full time, and I also work as a contracting behavioral coach. I also am a dietetic student at the University of Alabama. Also, I am board certified in lifestyle medicine as a lifestyle medicine professional. And I'm also a licensed food for life instructor with the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine, and I'm a trained herbalist as well.
And I know you're doing a lot of great work when it comes to us taking care of ourselves. And I know it's something that we lack for a very long time. Explain your journey, how this all started for you, because you've been running full force with it.
Yes, yes. So I started my health journey back in fall of 2017, October actually of 2017. It was just a very difficult time for me. And I did like a lot of praying, a lot of fasting. I did like a 21-day water fast. And it was kind of something that I was led to. So I then adopted a whole food plant based diet, and I just developed a very strong passion for just human health, specifically lifestyle medicine. And I'll just tell you what lifestyle medicine is. It's an evidence based therapeutic approach that leverages a predominantly whole food plant based diet, regular physical activity, stress management, the avoidance of risky substances and behaviors, restorative sleep, and also positive psychology and connectedness with others. So I just kind of developed a very strong passion for just viewing myself from a holistic standpoint. So that's kind of how I got started.
And I know that we deal with a lot, from high blood pressure, diabetic, high cholesterol, you name it, and we always lead into these health categories. But your journey alone, not for you. I know you're doing it for you did it for yourself, but you're also about helping other people. So how is the work in the field going, and what you know that you've been called to do?
Well, I'll say this: being in, being in Mobile is challenging. I'll say that. Just I think in the South period, just with what I'm doing is very, very challenging. Um, and most of my work, I'll say that I've done has kind of been outside of Alabama. I've done like some international stuff too, but most of it has been outside of Alabama. I would say it's going well. But I would say that I would like to do more in Alabama, but it's one of those places where it's really hard just because of the demographics. People are wanting to eat and do things that's familiar to them, right? So this is something that's not really familiar to them. Just the people, it's so many things I could go on and on about it, but the health disparities from what the food options, the accessibility that we have available in low income neighborhoods. Nobody's advocating for it. Nobody in political office in Alabama is advocating for us to be live a healthier lifestyle. Nobody's really talking about it. So, just to be completely transparent and honest with you. So I would definitely say it's very challenging.
And I take your word for it. And that's what we like about here on the podcast. Be transparent and just being real and being honest. And I know this stuff is
Yeah.
very important to all of us. I know, and we substitute ourselves for a lot of things. We substitute ourselves with different supplements, but we still eat the things we're not supposed to eat. You hear people that say they exercise, but still eating so they ain't supposed to eat. They think, well, no, I exercise, I'm good. But that stuff plays a role long term, and not to really think about it till it's everlasting too late. And I know you was inspired by a lot of the greats that were before our time. So with their teachings on the lifestyle medicine, how has that really been come? I know you're very excited about it, and how people as you came on to what you've been doing.
Yes, so I have a lot of people that reach out to me because again, it's something that's new to people. It's not really new, but it's new
Right.
to people. But I do have people that are interested in it. Because they don't really are like, what is that? Lifestyle medicine is that? I hear a lot of people say, or is that like alternative medicine? I'm like, no, like lifestyle medicine is supposed to be the first line of treatment for diseases, for chronic disease. It's supposed to be the first line of treatment. And so I would say a lot of people are interested in it. People just don't really, they just really don't know. And then when you talk about, plant based, they're like, well, that means I can't eat anything but grass. Like, what does it entail? What can I consume? So I like to tell people it's not all or nothing. It can just be simply adding, for breakfast instead of me having, Chick-fil-A, I may make a smoothie instead, or I may have some fresh fruit, or I may have some oatmeal. And also instead of consuming meat on every meal, I'll just kind of view meat as a condiment, right? So that's kind of like the approach I like to bring to people. Like, just not saying that it has to be all or nothing, but we all can benefit from including more plants in our diet.
Right. And I know on average, you may hear people talk about finances. You may hear people on average say, well, it's too expensive to eat healthy, but it's so quick to go get a cheeseburger from McDonald's. But we never,
Mhm.
it's like never decipher why is that?
Well, so that so I'll say this. So again, it's it's a lot of things that are systematic. Like it's a lot food injustice. And so, yeah, when you go to restaurants like McDonald's, yeah, you can get a cheeseburger. I mean, everything's expensive now. But if you go to the grocery store, like now, we have Aldi's, you have Publix. I mean, meat is not cheap. Meat is expensive. So even if you can't get fresh fruits and vegetables, you can get frozen fruits and vegetables. I mean, you can get you can make you a bean chili. I mean, it's so many things that you can make and it not be and it not really be expensive like people think it is. So again, it's like I said, it's a lot of misinformation and a lot of people are just not properly being educated because they don't really know how to shop. They don't even really know what to shop for. When you talk about, well, I need to eat more plants. Well, what exactly are you talking about? But then again, there are some accessibility issues. Like if you look at people in certain neighborhoods here, you see Piggly Wiggly. I don't really like to go in Piggly Wiggly. So you got to think about too. It's a documentary called "They're Trying to Kill Us." Really good documentary. I
I believe
recommend
that.
everyone. Yes, because it's really talking about the racial injustice, how things are created. It's all created by design. So, like I said, most of the low neighborhoods, you're going to find places like Greer's and places like that. But then you go downtown, they have a nice Greer's. And then you go like Pritchard, their Greer's it doesn't smell good. The produce isn't the freshest. So it just kind of all goes back to it's, it's, it's so many levels to it. But there on the other hand, you can still eat healthy and it's still like not break your bank.
Right.
Just know purchasing in bulk, going to a farmer's market. Like I said, you have all these, you can go to places like Publix. I mean, if you like Walmart, you can do that. I mean, it's so many things that you can do.
And awesome stuff. And I know you mentioned something about groceries. I know we don't know how to shop.
Mhm.
So I'm asking, so do people that you come in contact with, do they ask you to help them put a shopping list together so they know exactly what to get, what to look for? Because I know we go one thing, but we go a whole nother direction instead of just staying disciplined on what we need to get.
Yes, sometimes they will. Or I just like to give them to sometimes they will, but I'll just kind of also give them meal ideas. Like, okay, if I bought, some just I love chickpeas. So garbanzo beans, like what they make out of hummus. So I know like if I buy chickpeas or if I buy black beans, like I like to tell people, you can make more than one meal out of it. Like you can make chickpea burgers, you can make tacos. A can of organic BPA free chickpeas costs $1. Like they're like $1 in Whole Foods, the 15-ounce can. So you can get frozen vegetables too that are going to be cheaper than your fresh vegetables and they'll last longer and they're still very nutritional for you nutritionist if so things like that you could do, just simple things like that. You can buy frozen, it doesn't always have to be fresh. If you are going to do can, if that's all that you can afford, try to get the organic BPA free, because we do know that BPA can cause just a lot of hormonal imbalances and things like that. So and it's not that expensive. You can, if you have a Costco's or a Sam's Club, you can get like a 6 pack of like black beans for like five or $6. I think it's 6 or 8 packs. So it's definitely can be done. I think it all goes down to what a person is ready to do and what they actually want to do. Because a lot of people they eat out a lot and it's expensive to eat out. And then it's like when you talk about eating, well, maybe you should do this or you should eat more plants, but like you're going out to eat, you're spending a ton of money going out to eat. So definitely.
Yeah, and like you said, we spend tons of money when we go out to eat instead of just going to the store and getting these things that we need because we want to prosper in our health. I know everybody that's on the podcast wants to prosper in their health. We want to look good for our, you see an age is number a number. We want to look good for our age. I know I want to look good for my age, and it's good that you are in place to help people who are willing to be helped. And so when you talk about lifestyle medicine, of course, so everything that we eat can heal us naturally, correct? The thing that we're supposed to eat.
I believe that if there is something that you weren't born with, I do believe the body has the ability to heal itself when given the right conditions. So our body is always trying to be in homeostasis, always. So our body is always trying to heal itself. There is a lot of research that supports, that a whole food plant based diet can reverse the number one killer in the world, which is heart disease, specifically coronary artery disease is the most common type of heart disease. So the research supports that. I mean, it's a ton of research. I mean, you can literally go on pubmed.gov and it supports that it can be reversed. I mean, there are several studies that have been conducted. Also in certain states, I believe it's like 20 states. Alabama is not, unfortunately, one of the states, but his name is Dr. Dean Ornish, and he has a program where you can actually that reverses heart disease with a whole food plant-based diet, and actually Medicare actually pays for it, Medicare and Medicaid. So I know like Florida is one of them, Louisiana, Georgia, I think California. I know Alabama's not one of them because I'm constantly looking on the website, but things like that that people don't even know that, well, hey, if I'm in this state, I can go on his website, I can see, if this is something that's available in my area and it's actually covered by Medicaid and Medicare. So the research actually supports, a whole food plant-based diet, being able to reverse type 2 diabetes, being able to reverse coronary artery disease. I mean, just a lot of different things. And he's also, Dr. Dean Ornish, you go on his website, he's also conducting the first lifestyle medicine trial to see if you can reverse the early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease using lifestyle medicine, like whole food plant-based diet, stress management, regular physical activity are the three components that they're focusing on. And it's also on clinicaltrials.gov.
And I'm gonna ask you this one too, for those that looking to start out, as you already being an expert in it, what do you suggest for people to start off with them, slowly get into the whole health thing?
I would definitely say start off slow. Be patient with yourself, start off slow, give yourself grace. It's a marathon, not a race. Also, the proper education is going to be very important from a reliable source, because there's a lot of information out there about, veganism, whatever you want to call it, veganism, plant-based nutrition, that is a lot of junk information. So also being very careful about who you're getting your information from. I would say that's the number one thing I would say is education, is the lack of education that people have just on the topic, and they'll start eating like all this junk. And just because it says vegan, doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. So I like to tell people, just focus on getting more whole foods. If you're gonna eat meat, instead of you eating fried chicken, maybe try to buy maybe a better quality of chicken, if that's something that you're going to do. If you just want to start incorporating more fruits and vegetables, try to get foods that have less food labels, like an apple versus an apple pie. If you look at an apple doesn't have a food label. If you look at an apple pie, it does have a food label because it's been highly processed. So you want to be able to, like I tell people, just look at your food from a holistic standpoint. If I'm eating an apple versus an apple pie, how let me just think about how the apple pie actually got in that state. Or if I'm eating an apple, how did the apple get, just kind of think about when it fell out the tree to the store, being able to just think about how did it actually get there. So it kind of gives you a better idea of just less food labels are always going to be a better option for you, less processed foods.
Okay, awesome. And I'm gonna ask you this one too. When it comes to the fruit, like, so it's important to get the seeded fruit instead of the seedless, correct?
hmm So this is the thing with that. You have to be like, okay, if someone wanted seeded watermelon or seeded grapes. So you can get seeded grapes from like Walmart. However, you may not always be able to get that, right? So really being able to see what is accessible to me, what can I actually get? What is actually accessible to me, what is available to me. So it just all depends on what's available. So it is easier to get seedless than it is actually seeded. If you eat something seedless, does it mean it's going to kill you? No, there's not. I like to tell people, show me the research that says it's going to kill me if I eat something that's seedless. So again, you have to be realistic about what you have available to you where you are. You're not going to have everything available to you that, say, someone in Miami may have. Like, for example, I love guava. I've seen guava in Mobile like one or two times, and that's it. But if I go to somewhere like Miami, or somewhere like just like Central Florida or South Florida, it'll be more accessible to me. But here, it's not going to be something that's going to be really accessible to me. So we really have to think about where we are and what's accessible to us. And you just kind of have to do the best you can with what you have.
Awesome stuff. And I know the month of April, I know you mentioned something about the month of April. Enlighten us on what's important for the month of April. I know it's a celebration awareness that you have going on also.
Well, no, no. I went live last night. I just did a live. I did a live on sarcoidosis just because it's sarcoidosis awareness month. So I kind of talked about that yesterday. Just because a lot of people don't know about it.
Right.
And I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it affects more Black people than any other race. And a lot of people don't know about it. So that's kind of why I talked about it. Because it's starting to affect more and more people. And most of the people, like I said, that it affects are Black people. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that.
Okay. Like I said, I know it's a lot of stuff that we didn't know all this stuff was going on, but you're bringing this stuff to pass, and that's a beautiful thing that you're doing that, what you're doing. And then how can people get in contact with you to be more educated on what you have going on that they can say, you know what, I'm glad that you brought this up. This is something I've been looking for a very long time, and see the result and feel the difference compared to how we used to feel, all down, sluggish, sick all the time. Now to the point where we don't have to be sick anymore.
Yes, yes. So you can find me. So I haven't, my website is finished, but I haven't launched it yet
Okay.
because I'm kind of going back and forth about some products that I think I'm gonna do and that I'm not gonna do. But you can always like find me on Facebook, Angelia Dickinson, Angelia. Dickinson, D as in dog, Ickinson. And then also on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Leah. It's Liaa. So three A's, the nutritionist. So I post a lot of stuff on Instagram and I post stuff on Facebook, but I do offer like one-on-one consultations if that's something, one-on-one wellness consultations if that's something someone is interested in, like if they have a health condition that they're suffering from, or that, if they just want to have guidance to living a healthier lifestyle. I do make like herbal teas, but like I said, I haven't launched my website yet because I'm trying to see what other products that I'm going to actually offer because nutrition is the basis of anything. And I like to tell people that, you can take all the sea moss, all the whatever you want to take. You need to change your diet. You cannot outwork a bad diet. It's no way, period. You just can't. And if you have health conditions that you're working with, that you're dealing with, then you need to get serious about it. You need to take charge of your health. And there's no shortcut to healing your body. When you're talking about it'll take longer, but it'll be well worth it. So it's no shortcut you can take, it's no magic pill you can take. It doesn't work like that. You have to put in the work.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You said something about putting in the work and going through the process. I know you mentioned earlier about life's a marathon, and it's true. I know we're in a generation now, everybody want instant gratification. Everybody want that quick fix. Everybody want the surgery, all of the other stuff. That they, hey, I'm fixed, but just the natural process, like I said, it takes longer, but it's gonna benefit in the long run. And then of course the marathon continues.
Absolutely, I agree. And like you said, you have to make those lifestyle changes, even if you start small. Just start setting short-term goals for yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Just short-term goals that you're actually able to accomplish that are realistic for yourself. Like we use the SMART goal method. Specific goals, meaning what do I want to do? Okay, I want to get more physical activity, measurable. I want to get more physical activity 1 to 2 times a week. Is this attainable? Is this something that I'm able to do? Is this goal realistic for me? Right? How long will it take for me to accomplish this goal? So just being honest with yourself, being real with yourself, Setting goals that you know you're able to accomplish within that time. And it's okay if you may have one goal and say, you know what, I just have one goal of consuming 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. That's okay. And then you may say, well, you know what, 4 or 5 weeks may pass by and you may say, okay, I want to start to incorporate something else. Maybe I want to start doing yoga, or other things that I can do to help reduce my stress. Or maybe I want to start going to counseling. It's so many things that you can do, and you can start slow. Like, I really recommend people starting slow, because if you start off saying, well, you know what, some people can do it. I do it. It doesn't work for I did it doesn't work for everybody. They may say, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna stop eating meat. It may work for you, but have you done the education to know if you're not eating meat, what are you gonna be eating? A lot of bread. You're gonna be eating a lot of cheese. That's what most people do when they stop. They start eating all these processed foods because they don't understand. So that's what I said, that really educating yourself on what it is you want to do, how it is you want to do it, and just kind of go.
And that's what's up right there. So it's all about putting in the work. I know we have one S. I know one of my co-hosts is Shay. She's a personal trainer of mine as well. Shay, you have any questions you want to ask?
I actually just wanted to kind of add to a few things that Angela had mentioned. Um, I think being in the health and wellness space is very hard for us, y'all. Like, being a fitness coach, just like she's on the more so the holistic medicine side, which is amazing. I definitely would love to tap in with you. I also have another friend that is pretty whole food plant based. He reversed his whole congestive heart failure diagnosis due to juicing and whole food plant based diet. So it definitely is a thing. I'm definitely gonna try to get him on here. But being in the health and fitness space is so hard, y'all, because just as Angela mentioned, like, we all been conditioned, right? We all been conditioned to just do what we want to do. And then when we have somebody that's trying to point us in the right direction and kind of guide us, I feel like that is the best thing that you can do when you first start in your wellness journey. Because I know for me, I don't think I would have been as far in my journey if I wouldn't have had like a community of people that understood what my body was going through to help me, learn the things that I needed to know to keep continuing my wellness journey. So, other big component is alongside of your education is having that community and having that accountability person that's going to hold you accountable to make sure that you reach those goals, right? Because if we don't have somebody holding us accountable, we can just let that fall through the cracks, literally. Um, and I also kind of wanted to piggyback off of like the eating habits. Y'all, it is so for the first parts of when you first start eating healthy, focus more on the things that you already know that you don't need, right? Like, eliminate the fast food, eliminate all the bread, all the starches, like for me, that's where I started. When I took away fast food, increased my water intake, and started eating fruits and vegetables, I lost 5 pounds in 7 days. That
Hey,
simple.
and Leah, I have a question for both of you because I've been listening and I'm just really intrigued by this. And so, as things start progressing in our culture, we're seeing more and more of like vegan substitutes. Like when you see people making a fake chicken leg or making a fake shrimp or making, all these things, is there a wrong way to be vegan? Because it just seems like some of the foods people are creating and calling vegan just don't seem healthy either.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
Anna.
Okay, hey Anna. Okay. So basically it's like this. So I started off when I went, it was like whole food. It was like, actually, when I started, I ate nothing but fruits and vegetables for almost 2 years. Like, no cooked food, fruits, vegetables, that's it. Fruits, vegetables, nuts
For
and
two
seeds,
years?
sprouts for almost 2 years, yes. And I was really slim, really, really, really slim. But I'll say this, I never really kind of got into the mock meats. Now, I tried the Impossible Burger like last year, and it was just so nasty to me. I was like, let me just see what it tastes like. And it was just not good to me. So I like to tell people you need to focus on more whole food. So you may sometimes hear me say the word vegan, you may hear me say the word whole food, plant-based. So you got some people that are vegan for the animals, you have some people that are vegan for the health reason. Me more so is for the health. And so people don't really understand, like, hey, I'm giving an example. You can go in Whole Food, they got these vegan cupcakes. They taste good. They have 1,000 calories in them. And if you look at the nutritional label, it's kind of long because it has so many ingredients in them, things that you probably don't even know how to pronounce. So it's like, okay, that's a red flag right there. And it has 1,000 calories in it. You might as well just get a regular cupcake. And so people don't really understand that. And then you talk about the vegan substitutes. I recommend to people, those foods are okay for transitioning, but when you're talking about trying to reverse a disease and you have health issues you're dealing with, that is not, you're not going to heal your body. You're not going to heal your body. Those foods are processed. They have sodium in them. They have high levels of saturated fat. Saturated fat is the reason that we get type 2 diabetes, and people think it's due to sugar, but that's not what it is. And so things like coronary artery disease, a plaque buildup in your coronary arteries of fat, which is called cholesterol, caused by eating too much saturated fat, not enough fiber, not enough plants. So the mock meats, I like to tell people, it's just, you really need to try to focus on whole food, plant-based as much as you can, getting whole foods, like maybe making a burger out of beans if that's something you like, or maybe mushrooms. So I like to just try to tell people that, because the processed foods, you're just not gonna, if you got something you're dealing with, you're not gonna heal from eating those foods. You need whole food, plant-based. You need those nutrients, those minerals, those phytonutrients. You need all of it, and you're not just gonna get that in processed vegan food.
Thank you. And you also mentioned sodium. So I just want to maybe talk about some common misconceptions. So I've heard and I've been taught, don't get a lot of frozen food because it's typically high in sodium to keep it preserved. And then I've also heard that, overcooking your whole and organic foods cooks out the nutrients. Are those things true or false?
Okay, so regarding sodium, again, we go back to looking at the nutritional labels. You always want to look at the nutritional labels. Canned foods are going to have more sodium in them, more than your fresh or frozen vegetables. Like for me, for example, I get like the chickpeas with no sodium. They have the no sodium, the low sodium, and then the ones with sodium. No, the ones with sodium and without. And the ones with sodium are like 90 milligrams of sodium. So it's not a lot of sodium. The frozen foods that I get is literally just like, if I do, it's like frozen broccoli. It's not like dinners like vegan pizza or stuff like that. That does have a ton of sodium in it. So again, if you're buying things like frozen broccoli or frozen carrots, then it's not going to have a lot of sodium in it. Um, and then sodium, just to let people know, sodium is not bad. It's a mineral that we need. Our body needs sodium. It only becomes an issue when we're having it in excessive amounts. Things that have a lot of sodium in it, dairy has a ton of sodium. Processed foods, which are mostly packaged foods, if you look at the back of it, it has a lot of sodium in it. So it's mostly things, the processed foods are going to have more sodium in it just than you just consuming regular table salt. So is what people just really don't understand. And what was the other thing you asked me?
Let's see, I asked about the sodium in frozen, and I
Mm-hmm.
talk I asked about cooking out the
Okay,
nutritional
the
sodium.
nutrients. Okay, so another thing, and a lot of people say a lot of things that they're just repeating. You got to be careful about repeating stuff and you really don't really know about it. So again, this just kind of goes back to what the research say, and I'm gonna make it kind of brief because I don't want to get too in detail and too in depth and confuse anybody. But you have your water soluble vitamins and you have your fat soluble vitamins. Your fat soluble vitamins are going to be more sensitive to heat, and then your water soluble vitamins are going to be those that are going to be absorbed, just kind of just absorb in your body through urine and things like that. So for example, if you steaming is going to be the best method of preparing your food. If you have a dehydrator, like I have a dehydrator, sometimes I made like some banana cinnamon rolls in a dehydrator. I dehydrated them on like 115 to preserve the nutrients. So when you're dehydrating it, you're removing basically all of the water from the food. So it takes like 18 to like a day, because you're removing all the water depending on what it is you're dehydrating. So when you're steaming, it's the best method of cooking if you are when you're steaming foods. Now, when you're frying foods, like just be honest, using oil. I don't really use oil because we just don't, it's like just full of fat. Oil is, I don't care what kind of oil it is, avocado, grapeseed oil, it's 100% fat. Doesn't matter what type of oil it is. You go look it up. Oil is 4,000 calories per pound, the most calorie density food that you're gonna find. And so I use like a lot of water. Maybe if I prepare something, I may use like some lemon juice. I may steam it, and just things like that. The air fryer will also be a better option. But that's kind of when people say if you cook something, you'll cook all the nutrients out. But steaming would be a better option for you.
And it's awesome stuff right there. And I know you mentioned about, and I asked you
Yeah.
about the classes and stuff like that. So when it comes to your classes, are there a fee that people have to pay? 'Cause I believe in that. I believe in paying for your services because that's a lot of putting in the work, putting in the time to get everything prepared.
Yeah, so I actually did a class. So I did a training with Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. I did their licensed food for life instructor training. So I did a class a few weeks ago, and it was a free class that I had got a grant to do. It was a free class. I may do another one that'll be free. I'm actually supposed to be doing one at Virginia Health Store like next month. I think it's actually on May 8th, but I think I may need to change the date. But other than that, like moving forward, I may do a few more free ones, but I will be charging for the classes. They'll be affordable for people to attend them, but I will be charging for them once I actually start to do more of them.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Because I tell anybody, invest in yourself. Take the time, take the money to invest in yourself. We invest in everything else. We invest into the latest fashion, the latest gadgets. But when it comes to taking care of ourselves, we fight against that so bad. So I encourage everybody, take the money that you get from your job, put it aside, whatever percentage you want to do, invest in yourself, and it's gonna pay off in the long term. And that's the beautiful thing about it, having another chance at life. And that's something that we've been talking about today on the podcast. Really, I think this is a starting point for all of us, a redo, a reset, for all of us when it comes to our mental, spiritual, physical, health wise, you name it. I just be a starting point for all of us. And I just thank you for just being that voice in our generation that we can take heed to what you're saying, that we could be around for a very long time and change our generational tree, that we could pass this knowledge on to our children as well also.
Yes. Yes, Angela, and just definitely keep doing what you're doing in the health and wellness industry. Even though it's hard, I think for the most part, we don't really do it. Well, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I know that our culture need us. Like I know that we need us. We all need each other. So I use this as an opportunity. I use wellness as an opportunity to connect and really just spread the word about being healthy. Like, not only do you feel better when you make these options, you look better and you feel better. It brings so much more mental clarity. It's just so much benefits of being healthier and developing a healthier lifestyle.
And that's what's up right there. So for our guests tonight, do you have any final remarks that you want to leave here with the audience here tonight? I know it's going to be up on Anchor Podcast, Spotify Podcast, also be on our YouTube channel that they can go back and listen to your final remarks.
No, I do have a few things just to tell people, don't get discouraged and, don't be afraid to seek help. A lot of people have health conditions that they're suffering from because they're they're afraid to, seek help. They're afraid to ask questions. So, just really, be mindful, do your own research, from a reliable source. If I can just say that, from a reliable source. Also, be patient with yourself, be committed to whatever you're doing in life. You need to be committed to whatever you're doing because it's so important, and just don't give up. If I could just say that. And also, if you have a health condition that you're suffering with, like be an active participant with your provider. Like you need to be asking questions like, okay, I know you told me I need to do this. Okay, well, what else is it that I can do? Or maybe, I found this. What do you think about that? So a lot of patients are passive participants in their treatment. They're not active participants. So really being an active participant in your treatment, whatever it is you may be going through.
That was up. So hey, y'all take yourself seriously, ladies and gentlemen. They go for all of us included. Take better care of yourself. Like I mentioned earlier for the podcast, it's the will of God for the prosper in our health. So He wants to prosper in our health. So take care of our health. That's something we do take lightly. As a community, we so quick to say, "I was somebody have high blood pressure." We quick to say, pray for me," but not
Mm.
put in the work to not put in the work to take care of ourselves. So take care of yourself. It's great information out there. Take it, apply it to your life, and your life will never be the same again. So it's a beautiful thing. So I do thank you, Leah, for taking time into your busy schedule to hang
And
out with us, bring
you're
awareness.
welcome. And I wanted to see about what you just said.
I can barely hear you.
Either lifestyle related conditions. I'm saying like people will say, pray for sister such and such. She just got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or, high blood pressure. And these are all conditions that are lifestyle related by what you're putting in your mouth. You're not moving enough, stress, all of that. So we have to be held accountable. Like it's no magic that's gonna just, you know, it's just gonna go away. Like faith without works is dead. So you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work and you have to believe what you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing, you need to believe what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing.
And that's it. That sums up. So we thank you again. And I know you are, I don't like saying the word busy, but you're a very productive woman. Keep being productive and keep spreading awareness because you are very dedicated in the work that you're doing. I salute you. I salute you. I give you roses for what you're doing right now. But it's a beautiful work that you are doing for our community, not just for our community, for those who are going to come in contact with you as of right now, Lord. So keep doing what you're doing. And that sums it up
Yes,
right.
and thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, most definitely. And like I said, we thank you once again. And we want to thank everybody once again for hanging out with us. The replay will be up tonight, of course. Also, man, we encourage you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to hear from y'all. Like and subscribe to our Anchor podcast, to Spotify podcast. We'd love to hear from you as well. We're going to be back here next Tuesday night, same time. We're going to have recording artists, entrepreneur C Now. He's from my city of Mobile, Alabama. He's going to be hanging out with us, talking about the music business, talking about his new music, everything he's going to be talking about. So it's going to be very awesome. So that's going to be next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And we want everybody to have a great night. Big shout out to Anna C. Big shout out to Coach Shay. Big shout out to Kenny. Big shout out to Leah as well. And once again, we salute everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday night. Just do your research, do some studying, whatever you have to do. God is waking us up. That's all I want to say about that. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night. Peace, everybody.
Peace. Good night.
Bye.